When Rashaad Penny left the Seahawks in free agency, Kenneth Walker's 2023 fantasy football outlook was shining bright. But not even 2 months later, the Seahawks baffled us all when they selected Zach Charbonnet in the second round. It was a classic Pete Carroll move, but none of us saw it coming. It was maddening to see both Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet's fantasy football values take a hit in that one swing. But now the question heading into the start of training camp is, how will the Seahawks backfield play out? Did they bring in Zach Charbonnet to create a true committee with Kenneth Walker? Or is this Kenneth Walker's team and Zach Charbonnet is just an expensive handcuff? The reality likely falls somewhere in between. Our mission today is to dive into the mind of Pete Carroll and the skill sets of these two running backs to figure out how we should value both Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet for 2023 fantasy football. Let's dig in. Kenneth Walker entered the NFL as a second-round pick last year. He began the season working behind the veteran Rashaad Penny, who had finished strong the year prior. But when Penny broke his leg in week 5, all eyes turned to Kenneth Walker. And Walker was productive from the start. He proved he could be a quality runner who can rip off big plays at any moment. In fact, he ranked number 8 in percentage of runs that went for 15 yards or more. And he wasn't picking up chunk plays just because the offensive line was opening up wide running lanes. He was creating on his own. Walker was top 20 in yards created per touch and was top 12 in evaded tackles per touch, according to playerprofiler.com. He finished his rookie season with 1,051 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns on 228 carries. And he finished second behind Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson in the Offensive Rookie of the Year voting. With the departure of Rashaad Penny in free agency, the path was cleared for fantasy gamers to be all in on Kenneth Walker for 2023 and beyond. He was even vaulted all the way up to RB1 in Dynasty by many, including us at yardsperfantasy.com. After all, his rookie season gave us everything we could have asked for. The volume was there. He averaged 20 touches per game from week 5 onward, and he gave us fantasy points, averaging 15.4 fantasy points per game after Rashaad Penny went down, all at 22 years old. It wasn't just Dynasty gamers either. Walker's early best ball ADP cracked the top 20 overall. But then came Zach Charbonnet. Charbonnet was one of the top running back prospects in the 2023 NFL draft class. He's a big back who runs with good vision and patience. His lower body strength gives him the power to break through arm tackles with ease and move a pile in short yardage situations. And in the passing game, he accounted for more than 12% of UCLA's completed passes in 2022, and he amassed 61 receptions over the last 2 seasons. He can run a variety of routes out of the backfield, and he has decent enough hands to be a serviceable option on passing downs. My comp for him coming out of college was Tyler Algier, who we saw have that terrific rookie season. But before we get into how I'm playing the Seahawks backfield for 2023 fantasy football, if you're enjoying this video and you find it at all valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be pumping out content like this all summer long. And hey, leave me a comment. Let me know what you want me to talk about next. The way I see the Seahawks backfield playing out is simple. It's still the Kenneth Walker show. People want to say that the Seahawks spent significant draft capital on Zach Charbonnet, so that clearly means there's something they don't like about Kenneth Walker, and they have a plan for Charbonnet to be an immediate contributor. And with any other team, I would agree that the draft capital spent is a major indicator of what they plan to do with him. However, the Seahawks have proven to be one of the few merit-based franchises when it comes to who gets on the field. I mean, we saw that a few years ago when they drafted Rashaad Penny in the first round, but they kept putting 7th rounder Chris Carson out there ahead of him. And let's not forget, Kenneth Walker was a second-round pick too. So that argument is mostly obsolete anyway. Walker showed us how good of a runner he was last season. There's no question there. Rather than drafting Zach Charbonnet to replace Kenneth Walker, he was brought in to complement him. And these two guys have very different running styles. Kenneth Walker is your home run hitter who runs with speed and explosion, while Zach Charbonnet is your north-south downhill runner who finishes runs with power and strength. And this is where I think Zach Charbonnet could find a role for himself. If the Seahawks deem him a more reliable option in short yardage and goal line situations, he could start to eat into that workload. He has the vision and ability to hit the hole and push the pile when needed, and is less susceptible to lost yardage than a big play guy like Kenneth Walker. After all, Kenneth Walker had more than 50 runs stuffed last season, which was the 4th highest total in the NFL, according to playerprofiler.com. Losing that role would be a major loss for Kenneth Walker, who had the 3rd most red zone touches in 2022. The other theory is that Zach Charbonnet could be the team's primary option on passing downs. Walker was not known for his receiving skills in college, and he only caught 27 passes in his rookie campaign. Zach Charbonnet, on the other hand, made it a point to become a quality receiving option during his time at UCLA. He is far from the next Christian McCaffrey, but his college target share more than doubled anything Kenneth Walker ever earned. But despite the risk of losing valuable touches in the passing game and at the goal line to Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker is still the Seahawks running back that I want in 2023 fantasy football. First of all, I was never drafting him expecting a major receiving output anyway. I also don't expect that he's going to lose red zone work entirely. Even if Charbonnet takes a significant portion of those opportunities, the Seahawks offense was going to be good enough for both running backs to see touchdown opportunities. Plus, we established that Kenneth Walker is one of the better home run hitting running backs in the NFL, so he won't necessarily need to plunge in from the 1 yard line to get his touchdowns. Either way, Kenneth Walker's ADP has all of that risk baked in already. He's being drafted in the 5th round as the RB16. He's going around guys like Aaron Jones, Deontay Johnson, J.K. Dobbins, and Alexander Madison. Even with the risk of losing some work to Zach Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker should be going around higher. So not only is Walker the Seahawks running back that I want to draft in 2023, but he's one of the best values at his position. Hey, if you like that video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment on what you want me to talk about next. You can find all my stuff, my rankings, articles, podcasts, more videos like this on yardsperfantasy.com. Just download the Yards Per Fantasy app, and we thank you for your support.